Mi gente, you already know who it is. It's the radioactive Papa Danny Limelight, United Wrestling Network World Heavyweight Champion. And make sure you tune into the Alliance blog every week. You heard it here first. Straight from Papa.
Welcome.
Do you know who I am?
Who the hell are you?
Who are those guys?
And then there's the other guys.
We're the other guys. We're the guys nobody ever bets on.
Just what is it that you want to do?
We want to get loaded, and we want to have a good time.
Okay, let's party.
Let me talk to you.
I'm building an alliance.
Will you join us?
It's showtime.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We are tonight's entertainment.
If you're not here, you missing out, because this show... Ladies and gentlemen.
All right, listen up.
And now, the moment you've all been waiting for.
Now here's the other Alliance guys, Tim, Jeremy, and Dave.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. We are 2/3 of the other Alliance guys. A presentation of alliance-wrestling.com, your number one source for news and information on Major League Wrestling, the United Wrestling Network, various independents around the world, and what's that other one, Scoob? Oh, yeah, the National Wrestling Alliance.
Yep.
At least for now.
Every once in a while, if something happens.
Yeah, that's right. We'll talk about it. We'll talk about it real soon. My name's Tim. This is my hashtag now, at least until things get better for us outside the U.S. and the NWA fan. This is Dave Scooby. How's your week been, my fantasy booking friend?
It's going good.
Great.
Yep.
Well, we are waiting for our brother in pod, Jeremy. He's running late in traffic right now. I did say that I was going to kick off the show with my words to the NWA. And I can see that there's a lot of people. We get to see the number of people that are watching it throughout the show. And I can see that there's more than usual by a significant amount right now. So I'm going to get right to that. But Willie Bowen's here. Willie Bowen is all here all the time. He's got a Tyrus joke of the day every time he comes. If they're going to make a reboot of the Petticoat Junction Green Acres series with Tyrus playing the Cannonball Express, Willie is relentless in his onslaught of the former world's champion. We got Media Mike's here. I saw Sean Mega. I saw Fiona. Fee is here. And she's part of this. She's part of this. She's going through what I'm going through. Damn the man says, what would Luthez do? Stand with the fam, all or nothing. Well, some of you might be confused. Noob is here. Hey, Noob. If I've missed you, anybody, I apologize. Let's just get to it like podcasters say 15 minutes into the show. I was told to take the screen here, Scoop, so I'm going to pull you backstage. I think if you have trouble hearing me, let me know. I don't think you will, though. Here. So here we go. I want to start off telling you in the NWA what this isn't. This isn't a rant. It's not a one-sided shouting match. This isn't a bitch and moan session. It's not a call to boycott. It's not a call to proverbial arms in any way. I'm a fan of the National Wrestling Alliance. I'm not an opponent. And a fan of many of the talent and staff who work there with you and for you. I celebrate your triumphs, including the step up to the CW app. I was very happy to hear that was something that the NWA was going to do. What this is a criticism of your near total lack of communication on how non-US fans are to watch the NWA, and also a criticism of how when you did communicate, which has largely been within the last 24 hours or so, it was unofficial, and even prior to that 24 hours, seemingly dismissive and Well, it felt like you big timed those of us outside the U.S. You were throwing a party, and we didn't get an invitation. We'll get into this. But in the meantime, I do want to say that a shout out is in order to those people within your organization who did speak to the issue that we're talking about today, both on camera and both in camera, if you understand my meaning. We appreciate you talking to us and communicating what you could from an inside perspective and even in an unofficial capacity. I think it's important that I tell you who I am. I'm obviously not a big name or any kind of insider in the wrestling business with any pull whatsoever. But I'm more than a fan. I'm a content creator. I man the controls of a podcast dedicated to promoting your product. I traveled with my wife 1,000 miles to NWA 75 to St. Louis. I buy your merchandise. We got the sweaters, my wife and I. We bought the hats. We got the T-shirts. Look, man, I got the pins. We bought everything. And I watch your programming. I'm also a Canadian. And I do this, and you'll forgive me this part, because it's important to me to be a fan of the NWA and to tell this particular story. For those of you who don't know, 4 years ago, just over 4 years ago, a couple of days past that, I had a heart attack. And it took me a long time to recover. And in that time, when I was sitting at home doing nothing, wondering if there was going to be, another one on the way, or, just generally wondering about everything, I need something to look into to keep me occupied. And I sat there on my phone and my tablet and I scrolled through the NWA, which I have been a fan of my entire life. And 8 months after what amounted to about a year and a half of recovery, really good friend of mine, one who I went to see Ric Flair back in the day defend the NWA World's Heavyweight Championship against Wahoo McDaniel at a place called Varsity Stadium in Toronto, reached out to me and said, "Did you know the Rock and Roll Express just won the NWA World Tag Team titles?" And I said, "What?" And that led me to Alliance Gold, where I loved the belts. I loved your belts. I don't know if you know precisely how many belts there are. I could tell you that number, but that's not entirely important right at this particular moment. What is important is to telling you who I am. That led me, that moment, that phone call led me to the Alliance. The people that are in this chat right now, the largest single body of NWA fans, I believe, that there are in the world. It led me to a gentleman called Jason Cayley, J-Cal, our leader, and to the two gentlemen that I do a podcast with about your product now. I became a content creator because I latched onto the NWA. I'm a content creator now because my NWA fam are important to me. And I tell you all of this because I want you to know that your promotion, your product, means a lot to me. Probably more, I would hope, than the average fan. And I hope that helps you understand where I'm speaking from tonight. I also think I can reasonably say that I'm speaking concerns voiced by many NWA fans from Canada to the UK to Australia to Indonesia to Germany, really all over, including fans of the NWA in America who echo my concerns. So what's this all about then? When you jumped to the CW, You didn't tell me how I could watch in Canada. Before about 24 hours ago, give or take an event or two, I didn't see anything where you told anyone anything about how to do that. And we were asking. Those questions largely went unanswered. And we got worried. I'm talking about your fans outside the United States. As time went on, we got really concerned. And when Joe Galley and Kyle Davis, both who I have the utmost respect for in their professionalism on camera, went on the NWA live stream and said they'd heard people use VPNs. You know, didn't know anything about that, but VPNs are used. We've heard that used before. We got pissed off. Was this the approach that you wanted to take to your fans around the world? To us, look, the world's heavyweight title, it has 5 flags on it. 5 of them. Currently, only one of those flags is applicable to your company. 4 of them can't watch anymore. Were you saying that wrestling as it's meant to be is for Americans only? No, certainly not. I wouldn't accuse you of that. But in the absence of an official answer, that's what we had to go on. It made many of us bitter. I'm going to read you, I've been given permission to do so, some messages from Fiona, who's in the chat. She said that, and I want you to say, understand, she's speaking for really quite eloquently for several of us. I'm so utterly disappointed and pissed off, she writes, at the complete lack of communication. Read the pay-per-views and for international viewing. It's abysmal. I've stopped wearing my merch in protest. She said, if there had been some form of official communication, and I literally mean anything, even if it was just to say, sorry, we don't have a show available for overseas viewing, I'd be less pissed off than I am. Yeah, this is a woman, a member of your fan base, who was involved in an NWA podcast in a part of the world where you don't have a presence. I don't have to tell you who Fiona is. You know who Fiona is. All of you do. She's come from the UK to your events. She's should be important to you as a fan. And before, I believe about 5 hours ago, I don't think she'd been told anything by anybody. Something that exacerbates the problem that we have here is the removal of the NWA pay-per-view content from Fight or Triller or whatever it's called now. So I don't know about everyone around the world, but I paid a membership for that, and now it's gone. From a business perspective, I can understand why. But again, what I can't understand is the lack of communication over it. Let's take the fan aspect out of this entirely and say what it is that we really are. We're your consumers. We're your customers. If you take away something we pay for and never talk to us about it, I don't know what to think. You've excluded some of us from watching your product in a financial decision, which I can completely understand. But then you didn't talk to us about it. Are you seeing a pattern here? Is this how treating your customer with, is this you treating your customer with the service that we deserve? James H. Jackson Jr. is a massive NWA fan as well. And he said recently to you guys, at you guys, I thought on a lot of things, and unless you return the pay-per-views I paid for, spoiler alert, I bought them all, and seriously address the overseas situation, spoiler alert, on the official NWA page, it says it won't be watchable overseas. If you can't address either of those situations, then I too am taking a knee I won't be watching. I bought all of the merch, all the pay-per-views, and that if the owner of the NWA can't address us in these matters, it's piss poor as far as I'm concerned. When you went into this deal, NWA, someone asked you, I'm sure, how we'd be served outside America. You didn't know the answer. But the value of the CW app deal is worth more than the loss of your international fans. That's clear. That's business. A decision was made. To be fair, I believe that you are working on options, which is what I've seen in the last 24 hours in response to comments here and there around Twitter. But you should have worked this out before you signed the deal. And you should have communicated with us with a simple, we are working on the issue. We want you to know we are addressing it. That style of press release. I know that we heard that on an alliance program in an unofficial capacity by someone who knew that something had to be said. But I haven't seen anything brought to the NWA fam that watch on any official capacities. You didn't talk to us. Beyond losing the pay-per-views on Fight, beyond non-U.S. residents no longer be able to watch, beyond the, frankly, tone-deaf, rather flippant, oh, I hear people get VPNs comments. You didn't talk to us. Like I said at the beginning, this isn't a call to arms. I have NWA fam friends in the USA who said, I'm not going to watch until we can all watch of their own accord. I'm not wearing this merch in protest of her own accord. I'm not watching until you make it right of his own accord. I myself took a knee from this little program last week from this show because I don't want to talk about the NWA until the NWA decides they want to talk to me. Until the NWA includes me and the others who are in the same your broadcast plans. I'm not calling on anyone else to boycott. People can do and will do what they want in solidarity, and they can continue to support the NWA without any rancor, vitriol, or detrimental word from me. But I am telling you, and I didn't know this when I started writing to you what I'm reading right now, I won't be talking about your promotion myself. I won't be wearing your merchandise. I won't be attending your shows. And I'm not going to buy a goddamn VPN at my expense to watch your product. I'm not going to talk NWA until the show is available to the people represented on your belt. Until then, you may as well have our very worthy, very capable world champion replace the 10 pounds of gold with the NWA United States title, because that's the only area that you serve as of February 6th. I've enjoyed the NWA since Lightning One took over. I've celebrated the good, I've shrugged off the bad, and I've ignored the downright ugly. I've watched what you've produced, and I've heard what you've said. Now it's your turn. Are you guys hearing me? And with that, I'll bring the boys back in. Hey, guys.
Wow.
Well,
fuck yeah, bro. Fuck yeah, bro.
Oof.
Damn the man.
We just want change for the better. And I thank everybody who supports the decision in our alliance. I support any decision pro or against our position. Everyone should make their own decision on what they want to do. And that's just kind of where I stand now. I don't think there's anything more to be said about it. From me, anyway. Damn the man, stand with the fam, all or nothing. James H. Jackson was here. I didn't see the chat before just now. What do we got here? There's a lot of stuff to go through. Yeah, I love the Mid-Atlantic TV title myself. I'm sure there's lots of stuff that we can pull up here. I appreciate everyone's support, and I just want, if I can say, I guess one last thing. I am a fan. Just to reiterate, I'm a fan of the National Wrestling Alliance. I want to watch it. So somebody, please, if you're listening at all, please communicate with us and make this happen for all of us around the world. You guys want to talk some MLW?
Real quick, I want to wish Jammin' Music Man a happy birthday. I saw on Twitter that today is his birthday, so happy birthday, Jammin'.
Yeah, that's awesome. Is Jammin' here right now?
I don't believe so, but I do believe he'll watch later on, so, or listen.
Yeah, he's a good guy. I saw that it was his birthday as well. Happy birthday to you, Jammin'. Anything you guys want to throw in before we move along?
I'm not going to be watching until everyone can watch. That's all I'm saying on it. I'm done with the NWA until everyone can play.
Yep.
Appreciate it, guys. Personally, Chris said, "Why would Triller TV have responsibility if the NWA severed ties with them?" I hope I didn't blame. I hope that's a response to something above that I didn't see, but I didn't blame anyone for that. It's a business decision, but you did take product away that we paid for, and
yeah,
which is okay. TV deals end. We don't own everything in the library in perpetuity, but you need to communicate. And as far as I am aware, there hasn't been any. So there we go. Standing with the fam. Yeah, I appreciate you guys. Let's talk about the competition. Not necessarily in spite, but that's kind of what we got left right now.
Yep.
So we're going to talk to you guys about a promotion that we talk about quite regularly on this program, and that's Major League Wrestling and their upcoming Superfight. And I've been turned on to it by these two guys, and I'm going to join them in getting you to watch this programming. Let's take a look at what's coming up in Superfight.
We are MLW. The ultimate stage where fighting styles compete for greatness and gold, where styles make fights. This is Major League Wrestling.
So, Superfight, the MLW show coming up. When's it coming up, Dave? Do you know the date?
This Saturday.
Oh, beautiful. That's at 2300?
300 Arena, the old ECW Arena. And it'll be one of the last events I'll be going to in Philly. My job is transferring me, so I have roughly about 25 days left here in Baltimore.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, you'll be a lot closer to home.
Yep.
That's good and bad.
I'll be in Kansas City. Yeah, in about 3 or 4 weeks.
There you go. Listen, for the people who are still here in droves, which I appreciate. Just got to turn my daughter's calling me on FaceTime. She'll call back. If you're looking for reasons, okay, what's in it for me with MLW? I mean, MLW, from what I've been told and what I can see, it mixes fights. That's their deal. Their fighting styles. You got Lucha Libre, Scooby and Jeremy have talked about it for a long time. You got big hoss fights. You got, guys coming off the top. You've got scientific, technical wrestlers. You got big, hard-hitting brutes. You got Japanese wrestling, Mexican wrestling, American wrestling. You also got guys like Richard Holiday, who might be the hottest property, say, I guess on the independent scene right now. I don't think his match is entirely picked up yet, but there are some. It doesn't look like it loaded all of the things. So one of the opening matches you got right here. Tell me about this one, Scooby.
Well, let's see. Wasted Youth and Neola.
Yeah.
Let's see here. I have them. It's Marcus Mathers, Dylan McKay, and Nolo. It's 6-man tag match. And we're going to have the Dirty Ass Bastards, Tony Deppen, TJ Crawford, and Griffin McCoy. This is Tony Deppen, who, if you know who he is, I mean, he's been wrestling for 15 plus years. He's the veteran leading all these young guys. It's a mixture of styles, like you said, but these guys are young high flyers. And this will be at the event. What they do is they have tapings before, then they have the event, which is on either BN or on Triller, which used to be Fight TV.
Yep.
They usually have like 3 or 4 matches taped before. Then they start around 8 o'clock Eastern. They'll have about 2.5 to 3 hours. Then they'll have some tapings after. Now, the tapings make up what's known as Fusion TV. Now, all you have to do is go on the MLW website, or you can go on YouTube, and MLW is there. They have a weekly episode that comes out every Thursday, and it's roughly 50 minutes to an hour of action, but it's not a lot of action. They have maybe 2 matches, 3 at the most in that hour, but they're very good at storytelling and going back and telling you why this match is happening or what happened last week.
Right.
And how it carries over to this week. Now, this match that you had up, it's a 6-man tag. It's one of those things that you have your good guys, you have your bad guys. Of what MLW can have. If these guys stick around for the next year or so, I'd see them bumped up to mid-card. Tony Deppen can always step into a upper card match if needed, but right now he's being a teacher to all the guys that are involved in this match.
Yeah, he's great. I like Deppen.
And Deppen is just, you may not like how he acts. He's the smug wrestler. He's the, oh, I don't have time for this. But if you just like wrestling, check this out. This will be on Fusion TV, on MLW, on YouTube, every Thursday, 8 p.m. Eastern time. So if you have a chance, you can watch it live or you can watch it anytime. Go back and watch some of the episodes if you want to catch up. But they do a very good job of storytelling and keeping you up to date of who's on your TV and what's happening.
Yeah. I know one of the matches that Jeremy's going to freak out for is DBS Jr. versus the one called Manders. One of your favorite dudes.
Both of them.
Yeah.
2 big meaty men slapping meat. Come on now.
What else do you want, right?
That's going to be a hell of a match.
Yeah, absolutely. So Davey Boy Smith is part of World Titan Federation, which, by the way, so is Richard Holiday.
Yep.
And the deal with them is that they are presented as an independent promotion, trying to take over and gather some of the best people that they can in MLW.
Mm-hmm. They're more of they're wrestlers, but they're the sports entertainment wrestlers. They've all been at other places, and they're wanting to. They like that style, so they're bringing that style to MLW, and MLW is just that. It's different styles of wrestling, and this just it's so funny how they incorporate everything and make things work with all the different styles that they overlap sometimes, but if you go to an event or you watch it, it's not going to be like, oh, we're going to have a lucha libre, then another lucha libre, then we're going to have some guys from I don't know, New Japan, then we're going to no, every match is different. It's a different style, it's a different type of wrestling. So if you don't like what you're seeing, know within 10 to 15 minutes something else will be there.
Media Mike says Manders is a hybrid of Dax Harwood and Dutch Mantel.
Yep.
That's pretty badass combo. I think you met Manders. I remember him being from the UWM primetime. Yeah, so if that doesn't wet your whistle, okay, that's early on in the card. That's fine. You're Sammy Callahan fan because there's a Death Machine rules match, whatever that is, between Akira and Sammy Callahan. I'm there for that. How about you guys?
It's one of those things that if you aren't used to deathmatch wrestling, it can get out of hand sometimes, but they try to keep it in the ring. But Akira has been turned on. He was with the Calling. Basically, his turn, I'm not going to say he's like a Stone Cold because his style isn't that. But if you look at what Stone Cold was, he wasn't a good guy, but people liked him because he went against the machine. He went against upper management. Akira isn't going against upper management. He just situation he was in, and organically, even though he isn't a quote unquote face, in most matches when he's against the other members of the Calling, he's the good guy by default. So his is just it's out there. It's different. So I mean, give it a chance. If you like it, cool. If not, like I said, next match will be something completely different.
Yeah, and that next one would be Mystico versus Averno, who's got Serena De La Renta in his corner. I'm obviously very loyal to my wife. I love my wife. she's a lovely woman, guys. That's all I'm going to say at this point. But regardless, that's an interesting fight. I know she's kind of tried to manage her corner of the market, so to speak.
Yeah.
And
go ahead. Yeah. If you don't know who Mystico is, if you watched WWE, he was the original Sin Cara.
Right. That's talent, right?
Yep.
Rocky Romero with Selena De La Renta. 2 out of 3 falls for the world middleweight title against Rick Del Santo's son's favorite wrestler in the world, Ichiban. That's tell me about this one. I don't know anything about this one. I know the two guys.
I mean, if you've seen Rocky Romero wrestle, he's a very good technical wrestler, but he's to the point where it doesn't matter when by any means necessary. He'll do underhanded tactics if need be. Ichiban is the face. He's going up against, quote unquote, the corporation. Serena De La Renta is basically bringing in a lot of lucha libre stars or making new stars. And it's one of these things of, they also have Ricardo Rodriguez that used to be with, what's his name? Alberto Del Rio, his personal ring announcer.
Right.
He's in MLW, but he comes out, he'll interfere in the match if need be. But it's one of these things of this is a feel-good story. Ichiban is trying to overcome the numbers game. And I think down the line, hopefully someone joins in and watches his back. But this being a 2 out of 3 falls, while Ichiban is a very good wrestler, he's not quite there yet. That you need to keep building him until it's time to pull the trigger.
Right.
And it's one of these things of once he wins, Serena De La Renta has several wrestlers that can keep the story going to try to win that belt back.
I don't know how I didn't get some of the screenshots loaded, Jeremy, but Tom Lawler, Filthy Tom Lawler, is one of my favorite talents currently out there today. And he's facing off against Matthew Justice. I'm sure Jeremy's excited for that one. Filthy Tom, baby. Are you muted? You're muted. I will unmute. You've muted you. There you go.
I was muted. Yeah, I'm really excited for that one. Filthy Tom coming out with Mr. Saint Laurent, part of WTF, World Titan Federation, going up against Matthew Justice. That's going to be a dirty fight all the way around. I'm looking for eye gouges and toe stomps and shin kicks and shit, you know.
Yeah.
I'm really excited for this match.
I love the way that, like, Lawler is to me what Matt Cardona I think is supposed to be in the NWA, like, or anywhere where he mercenaries himself in and out. Like, he came in a week before his match in the UWN against Danny Limelight, right? Mm-hmm. They both had their Team Filthy jerseys on, and it was like, "Hey, I'm here for the belt," and they just kind of went, "Yeah, you're my brother, but nose to nose."
Yep.
You know, this is my yard here, you know. And they just had a knockdown, drag out fight, and then it was just shake hands and off Lawler went. And he's amazing to watch. I really dig him. I also somehow didn't get up Ricky Shane Page versus Jake Christ, which I know nothing about, other than he's part of the calling. Ricky Shane Page is, right? He's the But I know you're going to freak out, Jeremy. I know you have already. Jacob Fatu versus Yuji Nagata. I mean, what else do you want here?
That's like Christmas, right? It's like Christmas just came late and early.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's worth the price of admission alone.
Oh yeah.
And I don't know if the rumors are true, but there's been talk on the interwebs that Booker T is trying to get Fatu channeled over to the WWE and get him involved. He is part of the bloodline. It'd be a loss for MLW, but it's to the point now where Fatu is their go-to. He doesn't need to win every match. He just needs to put on a good match. And the guy does amazing stuff in ring.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I swear, after every event that I've been to up in Philly, after the match, he's out there signing and he's limping and he's icing himself down, but he is a man of the people. And I mean,
sorry, go ahead.
he gives his
instinct.
He gives his 100% every time when he's in the ring. And I mean, that's going to be a hell of a match. While I'd like to see both of these guys win, Nagata is only over for a while. So if he gets a win, that's fine. I'm not sure what's going to happen, but if there's somehow interference and someone tries to go after one or the other, I could see them either teaming up on whoever comes out or teaming up on whatever members come out.
Right.
And I mean, that's just the fantasy booker in me. It's like, okay, it's like I really don't have a favorite family member. I like all my family, but if you're in the family, you know there's different reasons why I like you. And this is just that. I like the different styles. And both of these guys, neither of them gets hurt with a loss, but you hate to see it that if it comes to a DQ finish or they both knock each other out and there is no winner, hey, everybody wins.
Absolutely. And I don't think that's even the main event. For some reason, some of the posters won't load. I mean, I'm trying them in the background now, but the main event for that night is Alex Kane, the MLW world champion, the guy who ended Alexander Hammerstone's, 850-day reign or something like that as world champion. The suplex assassin defending the title against Satoshi Kojima, who was a former NWA world heavyweight champion and actually world tag team champion with another champ, Hiroshi Tenzan. So I don't know, Jeremy, I would tune in for 2 or 3 of these matches alone, right? Like the main event crushes it. Like I don't know how Court Bauer isn't like signing deals with, major TV networks right now, especially in the face of some of the risk that WWE has put themselves on. I don't really want to talk about that, but I mean, it's incredible what's going on over there. You looking forward to that match?
Come on, man. Kojima?
I'm throwing it to you.
Kojima! I am Brett Adam.
My cat's like...
Yeah, and this entire card is stacked. It is aptly named Superfight, and the card is definitely living up to that title. To quote Sheamus, banger after banger after banger after banger. This entire show is firing on all cylinders.
Yep.
Unless the match just completely shit the bed, which I don't see happening, you're robbing Court Bauer by showing up to this show.
Yeah.
You're definitely getting more than what you're paying for.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
I mean, you guys are the metrics for me. And because Dave currently lives there right now, Dave's often like, I'm going to go to a wrestling show and see this weekend. And I said, we should talk about Superfight. And he's like, I'm totally jacked for Superfight. Like his energy, Dave's energy level, just you could see it in Twitter was like, oh, I'm ready for this one.
Yeah.
Did you get a seat right by the aisle again?
Oh yeah.
Well, that's good.
5, seat number 10, right by the entryway.
There you go. If you're in the old ECW arena, go see Dave. He's right there by the entranceway, getting awesome shots for the rest of us put on Twitter.
This is one of those things that Alex Kane and the Buaya Fight Club, they're putting wrestlers against him that are former champions or names to build him up, and they're doing a good job in that. But if you look at, there's 11 matches that are going to take place.
Yeah.
But only 6 of them are on the quote-unquote pay-per-view or premium live event. The others are tapings for their Fusion, which is on YouTube and BN Sports and all that. But there's 6 matches. And they're stretching that over 2.5 hours. So they're giving 10, 15, 20 minutes to each of these matches.
Yeah. Which
is good. Plus you have your backstage, you have any interviews. It's enjoyable and it's not overkill.
Right.
It's one of those things that if you choose to leave right after the pay-per-view and don't want to know what the tapings are for Fusion, hey, that's cool. They lose maybe I'd say about 20% of the crowd. But they don't lose everybody because people are there to just cheer and have a good time. And I mean, for a 4-hour show, that they open up the doors at 6. You can buy some swag, whatever, get some food, get some drinks. They start taping at 7, and by 7:55, then they go live with the pay-per-view. And they do a good 2.5, 2:45, maybe 3 if they push it. But then they do maybe a half hour to 45 minutes, and you're out of there by 11.
Yeah.
So it goes real quickly. And for me, it's enjoyable.
Yeah.
It's not of, oh, let's wait and see. Almost every type of match that is going on, you can enjoy somehow.
There's something for somebody.
Yeah, there's something for somebody. And like I said, if not, wait a few minutes, something else will be there. Now, they also have like the tag champs, the second gear crew. They're wrestling, but they're wrestling singles matches.
Mm-hmm.
And some people were saying, well, why? Well, you're building up tension between the second gear crew and the World Titan Federation.
Mm-hmm.
Because the guys that they're wrestling in singles matches, it will eventually lead to a championship tag match down the line. But that's what I like about what Court does. He doesn't rush things.
Yeah.
He lets it breathe. And I mean, putting 6 matches in a 2.5-hour window, you're giving your wrestlers plenty of time to tell a story. And that's what I like about MLW. They tell a story, and it's quite easy to follow.
Right. Actually, I think I just got the poster to work, and no. Anyway, we'll fix that around for next time. I'm going to go back up to the chat. There's been lots of talk since my beef, and so some of it about this, but a bit earlier on about the NWA. Let's see here. There was so much of it, guys. I'm so sorry. Yeah, let it all out, Tim. They didn't tell anyone outside of the USA how to watch. Guessing game or laziness on the NWA part. I may be going back too far. The polar bear from Canada bare its fangs. Not a lot of those left, that's for sure. Damn it. I won't watch either. Nothing. All right, Mike. I appreciate it. Thanks, buddy. And then Retro came here. Oh, I did go too far. I'm sorry. Jake L saying, I'm pretty sure Jaden and DKM won't watch either. Well, to be fair. If Eric Dale, hope you're still here, Eric. You make me laugh so hard. If you stood by them in the Carneyland era. Yeah. I didn't hate Carneyland. It was what it was. It was an attempt to give us something during a time when you couldn't tune in for what you wanted to tune in on.
Yeah.
I enjoyed Carneyland overall. It was what it was.
Yeah. Yeah, it was what it was. There's always championship wrestling in Memphis. I'm sure Jeremy's going to tell us all about it. I can't wait. In just a few moments, he's going to go, I got nothing for you. Mayor TV, not familiar, but welcome. Thanks for being here. The people that want to watch will do what they have to do to watch it. Just looks for the people that bought their events on Triller. Chris Drummond, the villain. Some things just need to be said about the NWA. Retro says, I spent 2 weeks trying to get a hold of my favorites on DVD. He's been posting in the Alliance Discord. The link is in the doobly-doo down below on YouTube. Chris says, for one, it's time for the NWA to hire established wrestling people behind the scenes. We criticized Tony Khan about this thing, and he's cleaned house lately. Yeah, or they've left. One of the two. I don't like Retro says anyone being able to control when I watch something I paid for. Okay. Dodie says one thing that needs to be said about the NWA is if only Billy's willing to share his powers and hire Pollo or Aaron to be his number 2, aka the second Lagana, and that will solve half of the NWA's problem. What do you guys think? If Pollo Del Mar and or Aaron Stevens were kind of bumped up to that. We know Aaron's booked before, and Pollo's a mind for the, for the game and involved in the NWA. How would you guys feel? What do you think, Jeremy? Think that'd be a good fit?
For Pollo, definitely. With Aaron,
got to think about this.
I think he'd have to be reined in a little bit. I don't think he would be the second Lagana. I think he'd be a second Billy. I think we'd get more of the same shit, honestly.
You could be right. You think the same, Dave?
Well, I mean, Pollo would be a great hire. Pollo already works there doing a lot of the digital stuff with the magazine and also as a talent and being a backstage producer. But it's one of those things that Billy needs to realize that it's either a business or a hobby. And if it's going to be taken serious, he has plenty of people that already work behind the scenes that know how things are supposed to be. It's just giving up a little of that control and going, okay, there may be 75 people on the roster, but are all those people used? No. What you need to do is figure out who you're going back to, like WWF back in the day when they would go out on and have shows. You had your A show, you had your B show, and sometimes a C show. That you had Hogan number 1. Macho Man, maybe if he wasn't in a program with Hogan, maybe he'd be on the B show. Right. Then maybe your tag champs on the C show. They were running different areas. You need to figure out who your main players are, that if you're on the CW, even if it's the app and you're showing power, you want as many good quality matches. You don't want the Gaga. Nothing against Sal and nothing against Gags the Gimp. They have a place maybe in one of the territories working with tag teams there. You figure out who your main people are that are going to be on TV, what stories you're going to tell. And since they're not having pay-per-views per se, they need to figure out what a season is going to be. Is a season going to be 8 weeks and then we change up? Is it going to be 10 weeks? And we have 5 different seasons every year. And then you have a Christmas and an end of the year or beginning of the year program. There's 52 programs right there.
Yeah.
Figure out the best of, figure out who you're going to push. Always have whoever you're going to push have a backup for them, that if something should happen, like in WWE, I don't follow them, but just being on Twitter X and watching it, that, hey, something happened with Punk.
Right.
He got injured. He's not going to be there. So they have to go from Punk. Okay, we're not on this storyline. We have to go to a backup storyline, or we need to make something, and you make adjustments. That for every person you're having on TV, have somebody as a backup just in case, that they can step in and either take over that storyline, that if something should happen, or that a storyline can be created and then you go from there. That now they're going to be able to see how many people are watching. And it's not going to be oh, we're watching and I can't wait to buy the next pay-per-view, because there is no pay-per-view. All they're relying on is live sales.
I think that's, I'd love to at least have this discussion with somebody there about why it isn't this way, because that makes a lot of sense to me.
Yeah.
To Doty's particular point, and Doty is, in my opinion, one of the best, amateur wrestling minds that I have the pleasure of, interacting with in Discord or anywhere. I think he's great. He's also kind of right, and I don't mean through the particular venom that Doty might have here, but like one of the things about that makes a great leader, in my opinion, is recognizing when there's other leaders and you need the help. I have 9 direct reports, and 2 of them are managers, and I can't do it without them. I need to have the smarter minds than me around there, and hiring well is one of the best things. The leader at the head of the chain can do. So I don't know. I'll go through some more of these things here. Yeah, no Sammy for AEW. Well, MLW, I'm sure he can go elsewhere. Mayor TV said, my boycott starts 10/28/24, 1 year from NWA Saw win. If shit ain't better after 1 year from snorting off their CW deal, Corgan needs to sell. Well, understood. That pay-per-view, it was not my favorite either. Yeah, but they weathered that storm particularly well, I thought. Sam says we could just boycott now. I leave you all to your own decisions. Doty says, I always loved MLW's graphic. It gives me serious feel and makes shows filled with the unknown jabroni. Looks like a big deal. Whoever designed that deserves to be in a Hall of Fame. I agree. It makes me think, guys, of well, you might be, because you're about a decade younger than me, Jeremy, but Dave may remember more. Maybe you both do. CBS Wide World of Sports, when they'd open up and they'd have like that like the thrill of victory, and then they'd have that skier just destroying himself and the agony of defeat.
Yep.
Yeah, you'd go, oh my god. Yeah. Or the NFL, like they just do marketing so amazingly well on that front, right?
Yeah.
It's incredible. But yeah, I agree. Colt Bauer has a serious looking product when you're looking at it from that angle. I love how they call it Ichiban number 2. Yeah, Mayor TV, patience is running thin with Billy, says Sam Retro. Oh, yeah, I guess they're just talking about how the CW shit's out of line, but yeah, you got to see where this goes or doesn't go. I agree wholeheartedly. I just wanted to add that the CW, probably a great financial move for the NWA, just not for those who aren't there in the United States. Yeah, give him a year, I think, is the feeling that Mayor's putting across. He literally got the TV deal and said, F everybody outside the USA. I don't know about literally, but yeah, the lack of communication was certainly there.
Yeah, I mean, I think I talked about it a couple weeks ago, or I may have been talking with you guys, but Billy should know TV and music are very similar. That if you want to distribute music outside of the United States, you can do so, but you have to go through certain channels. That there's, I mean, like Sony Music. If it's Sony Music USA, Sony Music Canada, Sony Music UK or Europe, however it goes, there's different ways that things work, that you either are added on. But what I mean, if Smashing Pumpkins were only, if their music was only available in the United States, would he have ever gone down to UK or down under Australia, or would they done the World is a Vampire down in Mexico? It's one of those things that certain things, if they don't have clearance in certain places, by hook or crook, you find a way. People will find a way to find either new music, or they'll hear about something. Or back in the day of wrestling, if I couldn't watch ECW because it wasn't shown in the Midwest, I had cousins in Pennsylvania that it was on late night. They'd tape 3 weeks of shows and send a video cassette in the mail to me, and I'd send them a brand new one to tape on.
Right.
So it's one of these things that you got to find a way, and I'm not saying by hook or crook, but think before you move. The CW app is a good deal right now for the US, but you're cutting half your audience out of watching your program by legal means. That if you put it to Billy and go, hey, I like all your music, but I don't want to buy it. I'm going to go on Napster or FrostWire or BearShare, and I'm just going to download all your stuff for free.
Can I just say, I wish I'd fucking thought of that. That would have been great for the speech.
One of those that, like you had said, somebody didn't think it through on either the NWA's end or CW's end or both. That they didn't think this is the National Wrestling Alliance. We're on YouTube right now, and we have people from all over the world that watch. CW, you're only in the United States. What can we do to make this happen? If we show it on Tuesdays on the CW and then have it available even 24 hours later on Wednesdays, it doesn't have to be the whole show. They can cut it up, and if there's 3 matches, maybe if they show 2, 2's better than nothing.
Mm-hmm.
But they need to, they didn't think it through. They just did a hurry up and wait. So we'll see what happens, and I'm keeping my fingers crossed for everybody that is outside of the United States. And right now, I'm not sure if I want to watch NWA just because of the lackadaisical way that they're dealing with this. That the NWA may become what the WWE is to me. It's on, but it's in the background. If I see something cool on Twitter, I may check it out later. But they're not doing anything. I feel guilty, me being able to watch it and Tim not being able to see it, or Fiona, or Dodie, or even Roscoe down under. It's one of these things that it's not good.
Right. It's been a bad series of looks since
it's forward, 1 step back, 2 steps back, 3 steps back. Come on, guys. I want you to succeed. But if you're happy with where you are, Billy, cool. Shake hands and we'll part ways.
Right.
I found you, I can lose you. Okay, I've said my piece.
There you go. Noob, thanks for setting this up, and I hate to shut it down when you're asking, what are your thoughts about FTW at NWA Showdown over the weekend? I have no thoughts. Lou says CW broadcast numbers are shrinking week to week. App numbers are growing or flat week to week. Over 60% of CW ad impressions are digital now. Lou, if you haven't already determined, is in this particular business, right down there in St. Louis. Yeah. Mayor says after October, if they flop, this is after a discussion with NXT coming in on the CW. There's a vote of no confidence. Thoughts on Bestia leaving? All the best, man. That's good luck to you. And I enjoyed La Rebellion. That's about all I really got on that one. I don't think, as we've been talking in the Discord, Jeremy, I don't think there's any heat there about Bestia leaving the NWA.
Yeah.
Time to go do something new.
Yep.
He posted this up. Won't be part of the NWA. I want to thank Billy Corgan and everyone in the company for the opportunity to be part of it the last few years. Wish NWA the absolute best. Thanks for everything. What a talent, though. I mean, the guy's amazingly skilled. Wide world of sports. Boxing field MLW is what the NWA should have. Don't be shy. Anything needs to be said on gags. Just leave. The guy underneath the gags match is an excellent tag team wrestler. I'd just like to say that. To Dave's point too, right? About he can go down to the territories and help out with tag team wrestling. There's being sports extra reminds me of the sports of the whacked out variety. We all brag on NWA alienating foreign fans. Somehow I think maybe Billy don't want to sell his product abroad because he knows it sucks. I don't think he thinks it sucks. He wouldn't make something particularly bad if he felt that it sucked. But he wishes it were more like MLW. Me too. Michael Harris says, stop. They have great shows. They got pictures if you want from NWA Paranoia. I'm good, but enjoy it. Thanks for being here. The NWA, Lou says, is moonwalking at this point. Well, what do you say, Jeremy? You want to talk about some United Wrestling Network?
Sure, there ain't much to talk about, but yeah, we can do that.
Am I going to put the 15-second video on? You're going to say 5 words, and then I have to play it again?
Nah.
Okay, all right, here we go. In a segment we like to call Championship Wrestling from Jeremy.
I need all of you to stop what you're doing and listen.
The following is a presentation of the United Wrestling Network.
It's time for Championship Wrestling from Jeremy.
Okay, where is the logo? There it is. What's going on in the UWN? There's some UWN news.
So the UWN had their taping, and we should be getting footage within the next week or so regarding that. Yeah. We also had the Memphis Grind City Rumble.
Great. Tell us all about it.
Oh, I'm not going to tell you all about it. I can't remember all of that shit. The winner of that was Cruel and his airport stripper, Brooklyn.
Named after the town she was conceived in, probably.
Oh, most definitely. Most definitely.
Which is sort of an inside joke for us in Lamb's server, UWN server on Discord. Just like, it's the Monster Cruel and Brooklyn. But anyway, carry on. Sorry.
So, coming very soon, we've been getting video packets from Cruel, and he's a belt collector, but only in the sense of he goes and gets the belts, and then Brooklyn collects them. Apparently, that's her gig. It as much as I think that Cruel could and should beat the Gun Show Bret Michaels, ain't gonna happen. Happen.
The most over man in wrestling.
Respected man in all of sports.
It's true.
This is a man that took multiple chair shots to the arm, and still all it took was one gunshot lariat, and boom, 1, 2, 3, he won.
I understand, like we all do, about how pro wrestling works and how you got to sell. Why don't you just use the other arm? Like, you know, I don't, just you're doing the lariat, do it with your left arm instead of your right.
I'm not sure he's aware that can be done.
Okay.
You've heard him talk. He kind of sounds like a meathead.
Yeah. He does. I mean, he does. But he doesn't lose to K-Tumor, who should have beaten him months ago, or, you know, Mike Anthony, or that's about it, really.
There was a possible murder on Memphis. At the very least, a very quick and bloody but unseen battle took place. Simon of the Posse, you know, one of the greatest names in all of wrestling, up there with one called Manders, brutally attacked Little Chris. I'm not making this stuff up, people. It's all on YouTube for you to see at your own risk.
I'm crying. And then Mikey, or as he's now known, Matchmaker Mr. Michael.
Well, anyway. He's getting more serious, like the Young Bucks are. You know, Matthew and Nicholas, I think, are their names,
right?
And so you got it. He went from Uncle Mikey, fun loving, to Michael, combed hair, suit, tie, clipboard, even. You know, super fit. You know, Tim. All you have to do is carry around a clipboard. Nobody fucks with you.
That's it.
I do it all day.
Just like occasionally look at it, shake your head angrily, keep walking.
Yeah. No one questions anything. It could be the president of the company. You could walk into his office, stand there for 30 minutes just looking at your clipboard. He's not gonna utter a word. He's not gonna say anything.
Yeah.
Will not call security, nothing. He'll just leave you be. That's Michael now.
Yes. Mr. Michael.
Mr. Michael, that's right. Mr. Matchmaker Michael.
Right.
On the all jokes aside, though, this last episode, within the past couple of weeks, they've introduced a tag team called the Twins of Salem.
Yeah. And
while they're not big guys, they're not imposing looking or anything like that. Their build-up they're doing their build-up quite well. They're allowing them to be the guys that they are. Someone in the chat made the comment that they look like they reminded them of the werewolves in the old Dark Shadows show.
Oh, yeah. I can see that.
And yeah, I can't get that out of my head now because that's who they are essentially.
Yeah.
And their character development is I don't know how long they've been doing the tag team outside of Memphis, but they're locked in on these characters. They know these characters, and right. I'm excited for what they're going to bring to Memphis's tag team division.
Right. And yeah, I'm sorry to cut you. I was just going to say, and the reason when we laugh about all this stuff, we enjoy K-Tumor a lot. We think Mike Anthony is amazing. You know, there is talent there. It's just not being used the way that, you know. Anyway, carry on. I'm sorry.
Tim Bosby is a perfect example.
There you go. Yeah, like Tim Bosby.
Bosby is a phenomenal talent. I would go so far as to say he is a generational talent. He has everything that you're looking for when you're getting a fresh talent that wants to be a wrestler.
Yeah.
He has size. He has skill. He's I think he was nationally ranked in high school wrestling.
Yep.
So he's has all the basics. He's a great talker, good looking guy, decent size. He's not overly massive, but he's not AEW thin either. He just checks all the boxes, but right now he's paired up in a goofy gimmick with his girlfriend. And another one that Mackenzie Morgan is a good talent. She's not a generational talent, but under Memphis's tutelage and the screen time that she gets, she's growing. She's getting better and better with each show. But right now they're paired up in a silly mixed tag team, and they're both being kind of wasted there. Mackenzie's not really having an opportunity to grow further as a female wrestling talent, and Bosby is being stifled by having to be in a tag team, in an intergender tag team at the moment.
Right.
That's all I really got on Memphis. The UWN.
Yeah.
Like I said, we'll be back in within a couple of weeks. I'm hearing. You can find both of those on the Memphis Wrestling YouTube channel. And if you're not watching UWN and all of its affiliated products, shame on you.
Well, that's nice and simple. That's nice. I like that.
Shame. Just shame. Know your name.
There's lots of chat around it today. That's great. Media Mike said, I didn't have the heart to say in the Memphis chat. It kind of sucked talking about the episode, calling it out. Cruel looks less in shape than in MLW days. I mean, he's getting older, I guess, right?
Yeah.
But Mayor, I truly enjoy watching Memphis wrestling every week.
I do too. I still go back and watch it. I watch it every week. I usually do match of the week, and it just hasn't been up to snuff to anything to be called a match of the week here lately.
Yeah, that's right.
And I'm completely honest with my opinions of what I see in wrestling. I don't sugarcoat anything. I don't pull any punches on anything. I'm not here to hurt anyone's feelings, but I'm also not going to sit here and lie through my teeth about something that I didn't enjoy.
Yeah, Mike said the Battle Royal was kind of shitty. It took a bunch of guys in school still and had them all in there, but wait, that's pretty much what it is. Yeah. Mayor, I'm going to put a few of Mayors up in a row because I think there's a good thread here. I think Crew's going to win over Gun Show. There's nobody else left. It also puts in, a heel for a K tumor to go after, whatever.
Right.
Memphis wrestling has always been built on the monster taking out the top guy or the king. There's no bigger monster than Cruel. Yep. And talking to Mike, it's never been a hotbed for great 5-star wrestling. It's good for youngsters and old school booking that works with a tiny roster. I agree.
100%. 100%. That is exactly what Memphis wrestling is. It is. You're not going to get a 5-star match. You're not. If you get a 3-star match, which has happened, that's a great show.
Yep.
But it is, at the end of the day, these are talents that are still learning the ropes, and Memphis is you're not going to main event WrestleMania just by training in Memphis.
Right.
But Memphis is going to teach you all those fundamentals and basics to get your foot in the door in places like WWE, to where they at least get to see you. They've done a lot of work with Memphis talent as far as being like medical professionals or security, so Memphis has a ton to offer, not just the fans, but their talent. And they do a lot better job on delivering for their talent than they do for their fans. But the fans that are there every week are the same fans that you see every month, every 3 months. The people that show up there absolutely love what they're getting served. And that's what's most important, what they're doing for their local community and the people in the crowd.
Yep, absolutely. Couldn't disagree with your caller.
Yeah, as long as the people that are there are cheering, they've got a good product.
Absolutely. I think there should be a world title match down for UWN for Danny Limelight. We didn't see one when he went down there a few months ago. We saw a tag team match with him and Gun Show. I can't remember a time Gun Show had a match over 4 or 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Predicted AF. Appreciate everyone's comments in here. Big Swole Justin Cole with his cupobacteria.
Yeah, it's that cup that's holding him back, Willie Bowen. If he get rid of that cup, he could possibly go someplace.
Absolutely. I am running late. Thank you so much, Jeremy, as always. We're looking forward to Dave Marquez and Championship Wrestling to make its return, and we'll see what Ironheart Pro does in what state?
The great state of Minnesota.
That'll be fun too. Are you doing booking tonight, Dave?
I can if you'd like. If not, we can just push it to next week.
Whatever you want to do, man. If you want to do it, I'm queuing it up.
Yeah, I'll run through it real quick.
All right. Dave Scooby, fantasy booker. I respect you, bro. What you got for us tonight, Dave?
Well, fantasy booking on should EC3 limit his defenses of the 10 pounds of gold. Now, it seems he's backed out of the last couple due to a possible injury or doctors not saying he's ready to go. I don't know if he's truly injured, if it's a shoot. But if you do end up watching next week, that Paranoia match, the 10 pounds of weapons with Cardona, we'll see. But I appreciate that he's a fighting champion as opposed to Tyrus, the last champion. But defending the 10 pounds of gold on the indies, it's good if it's a name. But if it's somebody that is a local champion or he owns the company, maybe move on. I know you want to defend, but quality over quantity, sometimes less is more. Yeah. Make the defenses mean something. Just work smarter, not harder. Just think of it. I mean, EC3 won against Tyrus at 75 back in St. Louis, August 27th. So the defenses, the next day at the tapings, I believe they were in Nashville. He ended up fighting Jay Bradley at the Power tapings. And about a month later, it was aired on YouTube. Okay, he's had one defense, one win. As of now, he's still the champion, so I'm assuming that the ultimate match of death went his way. But him possibly being injured, it's not a good look if your champion is having to bow out of defenses.
Right.
So it's one of these things of he's had 5 defenses within the NWA itself over the past 5 months, which is good. Every once in a while, if you're able to do a defense on the indies, but make it mean something. I mean, he's been in Buffalo, New York. He defeated Delson Alexander, and you're thinking to yourself, oh, wow, he did? Who's that guy? No idea. I had to look him up and couldn't find much on him. A defense is a defense, but if it's almost like if a tree falls in the forest and nobody's there to hear it, did it really happen? If there's nobody there or there's no social media push of his defenses. So if I don't see some film of it, it could easily be thrown into a power episode. Kyle could be like, hey, our champion, he'll be in I don't know, Buffalo, New York. Or he was recently in Buffalo, New York. Here's him defending the NWA 10 pounds of gold. All you're doing is pushing your champion. You don't have to say much. You just show some highlights and now back to power. But I mean, he defeated Crowbar in New Jersey. If you know who Crowbar is from back in the day of WCW and ECW, either Devon Storm or Crowbar, he's a name if you know wrestling. But it's one of those things that the defenses need to be either within the NWA, like at Saw Win. He defeated Tom Latimer, but it was basically a cluster because it was a trash match, in my opinion. It was a trash match, and Cardona interfered. And what happened to Tom? Tom's been put to the back of the line. I'd like to see Tom pushed, and whether or not he takes it, he doesn't have to win. He just needs to put on a good match and make the champion look good. There was also, I believe it was WrestleCade over Thanksgiving weekend over in Winston-Salem. He defeated Fodder. A couple days later, December 1st, he was in Cleveland for Exodus Pro at their pay-per-view. He defeated Fodder once again. But there, unless you're looking on social media and it's being posted, there's no video. Show some video. Push your wins and push your upcoming events. And I mean, Cardona has fought EC3. He fought him back in the beginning of December for the Premier Men's title, and Matt was the champion. EC3 won, and that Premier Men's title is from the Premier Streaming Network. And if you don't know, that's Freddie Prinze Jr. That's his, I guess, idea of a wrestling network, that it shows independent wrestling. Okay, that's cool. They have their own championship. Why not get with them if they're able to go nationwide and worldwide? I don't know. I haven't checked. I may go online and see if they're able to go outside of the United States and go worldwide, put episodes of Power on, even if it's delayed by a day or two, put it on that network. The NWA champion is also their champion. Let's work together. Now, coming up next Tuesday, if you want to watch it, the Ultimate Match of Death on the CW NWA Power debut. It was taped a couple weeks ago at NWA Paranoia in Fort Lauderdale. And I'm assuming, hint, hint, spoiler, that EC3 is still your champion. But we'll see. It's one of those things that they have to make things count.
Right.
And a championship, if you defend it, that's cool. But you need to defend it against either people that are known or people that are making a name for themselves. And a defense against them gets people talking.
Right.
Now, 156 days as NWA heavyweight champion. EC3 also wrestles for OVW every Thursday. He's the OVW national heavyweight champion. Been that for just over 2 months. Been the premier men's champion for just over 2 months. But with the NWA doing what they're doing now and just having signature live events, there's no pay-per-view in the near future. So any and all defenses of the 10 pounds of gold have to be on Power. That if they're not on Power, it's a loss.
Right.
I mean, the only way you're going to get eyes on your product is to show your champions. And he's the top of the mountain. He is the NWA heavyweight champion. So I'm not sure what they're planning on doing. But also coming up in just over a month, Saturday, March 2nd, Hard Times. It's not a pay-per-view. It's a signature live event taping. So we don't know who the next contender is. Unless Tom comes back, I don't know. They have basically a month to build up a new contender. So we'll see where this takes us.
We'll see where it goes. You got people for and again in the chat for you right now. Doty, Adam Pearce, and Nick Aldis defended against named and random local indie champions. I don't mind if he defends against local champions because that's what world champions are about. But what we need is a social media push, just like what you were saying, an internet exposure. Nick Aldis benefited a lot from this. He did. Lou, I don't mind if the challenger isn't big in the NWA, but they should always be the top guy in the territory hosting the title match. Lou's old school. I agree. Willie was total agreement with Doty there. Mayor TV, I kind of want to go the other way with that it's cool to defend the title against a name on an indie card, but that kind of shows that one-shot name will probably not win the title. Good point. I think that's a fair point. But like, you know, we knew in MLW, Alex Kane defeated Alexander Hammerstone, 800 and whatever day championship reign down the drain. And then he gets Willie Mack. Well, we all still wanted to see that. Nobody thought Willie Mack was going to win, but we still wanted to see it. I mean, but I do get that point of view and can't disagree. I agree with defending against a local champion or top name as opposed to a former WWE star, unless said former WWE star is already situated in the NWA. Chris Masters, if he were to come back, I guess. And then Doty gets the last word here. Remember, we don't know almost half of Camille's opponents, yet we all hailed Camille to be the goddess who kept the prestige and respect of the NWA. Yeah, but she had banger matches, like, even for the ones that only the ones that we did see on Power and on pay-per-views. Build-up challenges for Power. Not another Rolando doing stupid things that he and Billy think are cool. Dave, a pleasure as always, and I guess we're going to do some fantasy booking, around other promotions. We got to figure it out a little bit.
Yeah.
We'll talk about it in the hey, listen, we all have day jobs. We don't do this like, okay, let's plan to everything out. We're not getting paid, so we'll figure it all out. We'll see where it goes over this coming week. let's social media. Where can they find you, Dave?
They can find me at Dave Scooby on X and Instagram, and over on TikTok at Dave Scooby followed by the number 1.
Jeremy, how about you? You are on mute.
With a tear in my eye, you can find me over on Twitter at HJWOTS and at Championship Wrestling Jeremy on Threads and Blue Sky, I think.
Like the cream of the crop, alliance-wrestling.com. Alliance-wrestling.com. I said it correctly. Don't correct me. Sickens me. I don't know. For all of the news and information around the National Wrestling Alliance and other independents around the world as well. I'm at the Alliance Gold, but I mean, I'm kind of standing mute right now. But you can find me on all of the socials when I'm not. Hey, yeah. Camille versus Ty Valkyrie. Camille versus almost everyone turned out to be incredible. In the meantime, Dodie says, when NWA alienated foreign fans, I could enjoy cabanting. Leaves a lot to be desired, but at least it's local. Please attend their show. Okay, we'll look them up.
If I remember right, I think he was talking about that in the Discord, and I think that's a local promotion that started up.
Okay, great. Well, if you're looking for the Discord, you want to know everything about it like I do, it's down in the doobly-doo, along with all of the other links for sponsors and merch and everything else for the Alliance. I want to thank you guys for listening to me today. I appreciate it. And more importantly, tomorrow night, you got Jay and DK and Jaden, the professional podcasters. They wear suits. They got headsets and mics. There's lighting. There's like this makeup guy who comes around with brushes and stuff.
They have ins and outs and producers.
It's incredible. This guy with this whole thing that does this.
Researchers. I heard they got researchers now too.
Like 3 of them. It's crazy.
Yeah. And a bowl of M&Ms in their green room with no greens.
Jesus. Wow.
Right?
That is
Talking
something
about
else.
Big timing.
Did you hear that story about how DKM, he got the vanilla latte instead of just the regular, and he whipped it at that little production assistant? I felt bad, but we got over it. But
that's where he got the name Daisy Kill Mercer from.
They are on tomorrow night. The Alliance guys, they're the kings, the original, the OGs. That's J-Cal, DK, and Jaden. And then every Tuesday, the boss himself, Jake California, the man. Tuesday, 5 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Pacific. It's the pre-party before that show that I can't watch anymore. So, I'm not bitter. You're bitter. Thank you, everyone, for being here. We appreciate you. We think we'll see you next week. So until, where the hell's our out video? There it is. Until next time, we'll see you at some match, I assume, somewhere.
Thanks for joining the stream. This has been a presentation of Alliance-Wrestling.com. We genuinely appreciate your support. Would you consider subscribing so you'll never miss a future episode? I'd also like to remind you we do a live stream every Tuesday at 5 p.m. before NWA Power. You can find us on social media at The Alliance Blog. And until next time, we are The Alliance.